Hey guys, how's it going? So today I really wanted to stream some of the first part of the Lantern Rite for 2024. I mentioned it during my Across the Obelisk stream yesterday, but I feel like it's just tough nowadays for me to find things to stream in Genshin. Same thing with like Arknights actually, I'm waiting till IS4 comes out to really stream a bunch more of that game. But I thought today we could just do a shorter stream. I have class in like 3-4 hours. And maybe we'll stream the other short parts. As far as other streams this week go, I will try to stream on Wednesday night the new Star Rail patch, because for me, Star Rail patches and Genshin patches actually come out like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Tuesday night. So I have a doctor's appointment Wednesday at like 3. So it'll be a little bit later of a stream, but I don't have class on Wednesday. So we'll look to do that then. Maybe another Across the Obelisk stream this weekend, because I've really been enjoying working on that save file. But either way, I figured we could hop into it. This event so far has been really good. I think every year the Lantern Rite has a pretty good story. It's one of my favorite events that they do in a recurring way. Right up there with like the what's it called? Is it the Golden Island Archipelago? I can never remember the name, but I can visualize it in my mind. But it's just one of those recurring themes that's really, really good. I'm wondering if we're going to see some more of Gaming, because we did stream the Jianyan character quest last week, and he did not appear. So I'm just interested to see what happens. And let's hop into it. But overall, like I was mentioning, it's hard for me to know what to stream in Genshin, because like I'm not a Spiral Abyss streamer. Just because I'm not super great at the game. I can usually 36 star, but it's kind of boring. I'm not one for streaming like 100% exploration or building a character. I also very rarely pull characters. I think I mentioned it, but I've pulled I think it's 4 characters since before Sumeru. People have mentioned it. It's just that I don't really have to pull characters anymore that would be good for my build to help clear. So I can basically just focus on pulling characters I really like. And even then I've been kind of savvy, I guess, with my resources there. Because I knew Clorand, Arlecchino, Capitano, and a bunch of really cool characters were coming up. So I'd rather save for them, and maybe even get their weapons. Although that being said, in Star Rail I'm pulling more often. I'm definitely going to pull on Black Spawn. I don't know if I'll pull on Sparkle. But the issue with, kind of the problem with Star Rail, though, compared to Genshin is, even if it's not good, right? Like, there's just straight up better DPS than Diluc in the game. You can still clear with them. Whereas in Star Rail, you need a much higher diversity of characters. Just because of the way kind of the weakness system works. You're going to struggle if you don't. And I don't know. I don't feel like power creep's super bad in that game. But people have mentioned it, like, already it feels kind of bad to use Zila. Like, Jue is my favorite character. So there's some bias here. And my Zila build's really bad, because she's harder to build in my opinion than Jue. But my Zila is weaker than my Jue. So, anyways, here we go. We've got Kuching and Charlotte's here. She's one of those characters like Kiara, or what's another good example? Just those traveling characters that I'm not surprised to see anywhere, to be honest.
Kuching and Charlotte. I never thought she'd see you two together.
Nice to see you again.
I wonder if like Kuching and who is it else that has previous Lantern Rite outfits will wear them in the event? Ningguang, I think it is.
Or anything. I was just asking Miss Kuching about purchasing a kite.
Oh yeah, they do
Are
that.
you buying some regional specialties to bring back to Fontaine?
Well, yes. And it seems you haven't heard yet. The theme of this year's Lantern Rite is kites.
Oh.
Oh, so that's why Paimon has seen so many floating
That's
in
a
the
big thing
sky.
in, I can't remember which culture.
Harbor is always
I'm
changing.
Korean, but I don't think
So
it's
it is
Korean.
only fair that
Where they do
Lantern
like
Rite should
the
change in turn.
little red paper
Qixing
lanterns.
believes it would
Super,
benefit Liyue to
super
build on our
beautiful.
own cultural
Haven't seen it
foundation
in
by
person, but
embracing
I've seen like
technologies of other
videos of it.
nations.
It's so cool.
After all, it is said that the stones of another mountain may serve to better polish one's own jade.
Yeah, remember my
They just take sayings from the real life and
Ningguang the last time I
make
was at
metaphors
Liyue
here.
Harbor? That's what it was about. But all I really did was use my network to introduce Lady Ningguang to some interesting people. I'm not sure that quite counts as fostering
Ningguang's definitely a
cooperation.
shrewd
In
businesswoman.
the end,
That's why
we
she became the
decided to
Tianquan.
combine Liyue's traditional art of kite making with Fontaine's mechanical vertical lifting device.
Oh, so we're making drones.
Mechanical
I don't know if you can call them kites at this point. They're probably just drones.
but don't kites just use the wind to
Jeez.
fly? Why would you need to add something mechanical?
Well, you've actually just answered your own question, Paimon. How high and far a kite can fly depends as much on the weather conditions as on the skill of the person holding the string.
But as soon as there's no wind, you can only flail about helplessly like a sweet flower medaka out of water. Experience
I remember
doesn't
flying
matter at
kites
that
as a
point.
kid. They were really easy to break,
Exactly.
too.
Liyue
Because
is
they
now
usually
a
use, like,
nation
thin
ruled by
rods to keep
humans,
them
after all.
fanned out,
It's
so the
about
cloth
time
picks
we
up the
had
wind.
The power to make a kite fly, don't you think? Plus, the easier we can make it to enjoy, the more people will want to participate.
When you make something more catchy or more, you know, make it stand out more, it's gonna attract more attention. And nowadays, if something catches, like, social media attention, it's gonna blow up.
Right? I also thought it was a novel idea. Plus, it shouldn't cost much to do.
With Miss
It's
Charlotte's
so
help,
interesting, though, to
everything
see
has
kind of the
gone smoothly.
difference in technology
Our new
between
mechanical
Fontaine and the
kites are
rest of the
already
world
available
in
to purchase
Teyvat.
from a stall in the harbor.
I wouldn't say any of
We're
theirs are,
having
like,
trouble
primitive,
keeping
but
up
we
with
went from,
demand.
like, a big castle
We
town in
also gave quite
Mondstadt
a bit of thought
to a
the
very
price.
traditional, you know,
We didn't
town
want it
to...
to be too much more expensive
You know,
than a
I know
traditional
Leo's based
kite.
on China, I know Inazuma's based on Japan, but then we went to, like, the city of inventors. And I don't know if it's called, like, Steampunk or something like that, but it had, like, the
Toys?
gear,
They're
like, the mech
not
guards and all this
exactly
stuff.
Toys.
I guess, not that there weren't,
See,
like,
Miss
the
Kuching?
ruin guards
That
and
does
stuff,
seem to be everyone's
always.
first reaction.
Although kites are one of our most time-honored cultural relics, outside of their
Well,
use
there's
in
the
certain
literal kite
ceremonies,
maker,
I
isn't it? Or maybe it's
suppose
the toy
they're
maker
considered
by
playthings more than
the
anything now.
guy that
To
you can
me,
buy ore from.
There's so much more than that. Think for a second about how remarkable it is that a flimsy paper kite attached to a string has the capacity to touch the sky.
Mm.
It is this slight piece of paper that also carries the weight of Liyue's cultural traditions.
That's interesting, they just tie them to the
There's an old
buildings.
poem that goes,
I wonder if that
"O
would work,
kite born
because
of
once it
paper,
falls from the
flying
wind,
true and
would the wind
sound,
even be able to pick
a
it back
lone
up and
traveler
go?
wanders, just awaiting to be found."
Did the voice line just bug out? It's gonna...
In the past, poets from
That's
Liyue
interesting.
used kites to symbolize a feeling of longing, or evoke the peacefulness of
You know,
idyllic
everything
rural
considered,
scenery.
every,
If the
like,
people of
live
today
maintenance
can
game has
derive
glitches.
enjoyment from
Genshin's
this
usually not
activity,
that bad about
they
it.
will not only be more likely to
Which is
better
commendable, because they
appreciate
do
the
big
tradition,
patches every 6 weeks.
but also to pass it down to the people of tomorrow.
I've actually gotten glitched in Star Rail. It was really funny.
Well said, Miss Kuching.
I know there's
I
like the
learned quite a
infinite
bit
falling
myself.
thing in Genshin, though. I don't know if that ever got fixed.
As long as you're willing to
I've never
listen, I'm
experienced
happy
that,
to
but it looked
share.
funny.
I also know quite a lot about the various folk traditions related to kites. For example, whenever a kite blew away, people would say it was the Adepti that summoned the wind to take it away as an offering. That way, you can turn an unfortunate event into an auspicious one.
What about something more fun? Do you know anything like that?
More fun. Let me think. Oh, I suppose we should first talk about how kites are made. It's another one of our precious forms of
You know, I feel
traditional
like if we're in
craftsmanship.
Leo and something is
My
being explained to
grandfather
us,
told
it's
me
usually
that
Ganyu
when
or
he was a
Kuching.
boy, children learned the art of kite making step by step from their elders.
That'd be a cool thing to do with your
First, you
grandparents,
use the
though.
thin strips
I have
of
good
bamboo
memories of
to
learning to
construct
sew
a
with my
frame.
grandma. I
Then,
never got good
you
at it,
draw a design
nor
of
did
your
I ever
choice
use
on a
it, but it
piece
was
of
like
paper, paste it onto the frame,
just fun
and tie on the
to learn
string.
and like help sew
Then,
quilts.
you look towards the sky and release the kite to soar among the clouds. Some people write down certain names or desires on their kites, cut the string, and let them fly free. Others may place particular thoughts or meaning into the design itself.
They make it sound almost like
Are
it's
certain designs
like a
associated with
wish,
certain
right?
meanings?
I don't know if
I'm gonna
that's
jot all of
a
this
thing
here.
in like real life culture, but that's what it almost
Well,
reminds me of
for
like,
example,
because they
kites in
did
the
something
shape
like
of
that
a
with Inazuma,
butterfly
right? It was like the
typically
little
symbolize
plaques that
freedom,
they put on the wall.
happiness, or the desire to break free.
Fascinating. you tell me?
The scissored-tailed swallow is the most classic design. It symbolizes good fortune and joyful tidings. Different colors also have small variations in meaning.
Are these commonly understood meanings and symbols in Liyue? Kind of like the language of flowers in Fontaine.
I believe so. Most have probably heard something about it from their elders at some
Okay.
point. If you're interested, Miss Charlotte, I have several
I'm a
books
little
on the topic
scattered
that I
this
could lend
morning.
you.
I had to
It could
finish
be a
up my
useful reference.
assignment on time for school. I know I'm not paying the best attention to the story, but it is interesting, and I do enjoy the Lantern Rite story.
Great. Looks like I've got the outline.
To be
for
fair,
a
they've also been talking for
article
like
on my hands.
5 minutes about kites, but I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm trying to remember if there were actual big themes for previous Lantern Rites. The last event we went to in Liyue, was it the, like the big event? I thought it was the poetry event. I could be incorrect on that. Maybe there was one between then.
Perfect.
But
We're gonna take a look around.
I think the length of these are usually like,
Then I'll show
like I
Miss
said, I
Charlotte
usually
my
stream for
home
like
a
3+
little while.
hours. And it's kind of hard to do that with smaller events like this.
almost
This will
forgot.
probably be like an
The
hour, hour and
Ministry
a
of
half
Civil
stream.
Affairs is hosting a kite flying
But
contest on the night of Lantern Rite.
they really
If you're
do a good
interested,
job of
you're
making
more
it
than
around the
welcome to
same,
bring a
like the
kite and
correct length.
participate.
That's actually
The
one thing I
rules are
think
simple.
Genshin does better than
Whoever
Star Rail,
flies their
although I
kite the
understand the
highest
more
and
concise
furthest
format
within a
appeals
time
to some
limit will
people.
receive a
Is
special
a
honor
Star Rail
along with
character
the
quest I
secret
think takes like a
prize.
quarter the time of a Genshin one. They're still
I've
interesting.
prepared more than enough empty
I thought
food for event.
the
I
Kafka
can see
like
the
One
spectacle
Truth One Lie
already.
quest was super cool, but it was still just like very short by comparison. And part of that's the exploration of the open world and actual travel time for sure. But I don't know. I still really enjoy both games. I don't think there's any reason to put one down over the other.
Oh, Paimon was on board the moment you said secret prize.
Then I'll look forward to seeing your performance.
One thing I have wondered if eventually we'll see some significant character growth with Paimon. It's not that we've never seen any, but compared to like the character quest, the main storyline, like Shenhe's a really good example.
Take a peek to your right.
You don't really
Do
see
you
those
two
changes.
people lurking over there?
Even Lumine slash Ether, you know, seems more and more tired over time in a sad way.
Is it just Paimon? Or were they staring at
Huh.
us the whole time we were
Seem
talking
fishy.
to Kuching and Charlotte just
Who
now?
are they?
They seem fishy.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, when it comes to, like, celebrities or whatnot, I know in Liyue you have, like, Yunjin, I guess, would be a close example, but imagine if you saw, like, a very clear, like, FBI agent just walking around talking to a traveler from another area. You'd probably stare.
Great. So it wasn't just Paimon. Do you think they could be treasure hoarders? They always seem to be stirring up
That is
trouble
also
during
true.
Lantern Rite.
At that point, though, I've always wondered, they don't even seem like, oh, let's hold the materials for ransom, like the fireworks. We're just gonna cause trouble.
You go right, Paimon will go left.
This is one of those moments. I don't know if it would make me a bad friend, but I definitely just stand there and watch. Just see what she does. And here we get started. Cool that you can still see the Jade Chamber. I guess it's something like kind of simple, but... Oh, maybe I can't see it from here. But in that cutscene. Super cool stuff. Where did she go? She's over here. Yeah, you're real conspicuous, Paimon. Let me just say... Oh, couldn't get up to her. She is hard to see. These are... I wonder if they're gonna be...
It is with such an air of urgency that you appear before us.
Oh.
Comportment suggests you believe us to have committed some heinous crime.
Isn't that the voice
Perhaps
of
you could enlighten
one of
us
the
as to your
Adeptus?
intentions.
I've heard that voice before. This is a voice actor that's done something in Genshin before. I'm sure it'll tell us.
Where did this fuddy-duddy come from? You should be the one doing the enlightening, buddy. Don't think we didn't notice you eavesdropping. One look and we could tell you were up to no good. Tell us everything, starting with your name.
Huh.
One bears no secrets before two such
It
as
is.
yourselves.
It's exactly who I thought it was.
Stand in the presence of the mighty
Okay.
and illuminated Adeptus.
You know,
Moon.
I will
Conqueror.
say, these human forms, because I'm assuming that's also, is it Mountain Shaper? They kind of just look like the generic NPCs, with a highlight in their hair, and a special outfit. But genuinely, that makes sense. I wonder what people are going to have to say about that. Because, you know, Jianyun's Cloud Retainer's physical appearance is very distinctive. But if they're coming in human form to view the Lantern Rite, because they can't fly like Cloud Retainer, right? I think it makes sense that they would try to blend in. And we know from, you know, Zhongli having even, like, appeared as a woman in the past, or Jianyun in her character quest appearing as, like, a medicine seller, they can control, to some extent, their human appearance. So if they're just coming in, you don't want to be, like, this super eccentric, like, Jianyun stands out in the crowd, you know? So they might not want to stand out, they might just want to enjoy the festivities. That's interesting, though. I wasn't expecting to see these two. But I mentioned it last stream, I was really surprised that we didn't see them during the Cloud Retainer character quest. Like, at all. Even though that quest wasn't really based around... It was based around who eventually became her, like, student in Mortal Realm, right? But that's really surprising. I know people criticize Genshin sometimes, too, for reusing NPC designs, but when you populate such a massive universe, I think a lot of, like, MMOs as well do this. Because of the extra resource it would take. But I'm so curious what people have to say about that, because they're generic designs. But that makes sense to me.
The purpose of this foray into the mortal realm,
And these two seem a little bit better about staying incognito. Ojang, huh? But these two seem a little bit better about being incognito, outside of being like a giant deer and whatnot, to begin with. Like, they have calmer personalities. Huh. She's mad. Why do you always insult like these beings?
You may want to hold your tongue, Paimon.
Jeez.
Don't think that Paimon is gonna believe you just because you know her name.
It is Mountain Shaper. I was second guessing myself all last stream that it was Mooncarver and Mountain Shaper.
Indeed. Mooncarver and myself have
Jehu.
descended upon the mortal realm for a visit. The two of you may call me Jehu.
Jehu. Okay.
Looks like you did your research. But in our experience, the harder you try to lead us on, the more likely it is that we've got a big fish on our hands.
I mean,
We'll go straight to the Millilith and have you arrested for impersonating a
he's
death
so angry
Preposterous.
for no
Utterly
reason.
Preposterous.
What are they gonna do? Transform into a giant deer in the middle of the town?
Tell us something that only an Adeptus would know. And it better not be some common knowledge.
Lumine doesn't, like, she's usually funny with the facial expression. She doesn't even seem like she's even questioning it.
During the last Lantern Rite, we gathered at Mount Hulao with Rex Lapis and made use of Cloud Retainer's supreme cuisine machine to prepare bamboo shoot soup. Perhaps you have some recollection? The flavor of that soup was more than enough to whet one's appetite. As such, Cloud
people eat
Retainer
bamboo?
assented to my use of the device beyond
I've always
that
wondered about
singular
that, and I
occasion,
know very little
providing
about it.
Other recipes to boot.
Like,
Since
I
then,
know...
one has dabbled in the
I don't
pleasures
speak
of the
Korean, but I know a good
culinary
amount
arts
of, like,
whenever time
Korean
allows.
cuisine because of my family.
Dabbled upon ones
Because
that
my mom lived in
sojourn
Korea
to
for like 2
mountain.
years before
Did
she
not
adopted,
immediately
and my older
attempt to
sister's
hide the
also
device
Korean, and
behind
she's
a chunk
traveled.
of amber as soon as one's
I don't know if
presence
I've ever
was
heard something
known.
like that. My brother ate chicken foot when he went to Peru.
Did one not
A lot of my
speak upon
family's
your
traveled.
behalf but a moment ago?
I don't. I like
This
staying
is
at
how you
home,
choose to
but
repay that kindness?
I'm thinking about it.
One is simply trying to emphasize the veracity of our claim.
That does not mean you should reveal personal matters so readily. They might think one bears no difference from Cloud Retainer. Forget it. One does not have the breath to waste on such petty trifles.
You know, I do wonder, like, these are not designs that they would make playable characters for sure. But just knowing, again, that Jianyun transformed in different forms, we'd never even seen her current form before she kind of became playable. There's nothing to say that in the future they might not just have a different human form that's playable. That being said, I do think it'd actually be a bit of a wasted opportunity not to make them playable in the future, now that Cloud Retainer is. I know they're not as prominent. We see Cloud Retainer and hear from her a lot more often to begin with over the years. But when I think about, like, the Adeptus, I don't know if Zhongli counts, but if we're counting, like, the non-Archon Adeptus, the only male Adeptus we have is Zhao, I think, unless I'm forgetting someone somehow. And Zhao is, like, wildly popular. I know, like, as far as the, like, the male characters go in the game, I know Wander's really popular. And I know, I mean, Zhongli's pretty popular, I think. Venti's also well-liked. I don't know if I know anyone who's... I don't know if a lot of people think Venti's like their favorite character. That I couldn't speak on, but I know a lot of people just don't have like a negative opinion of Venti. But I just feel like it's a wasted opportunity not to make more Adeptus characters in the future. Because those are really the ones you can look forward to when coming back to Liyue. Same with like the Knights of Favonius when you're coming back to Mondstadt.
That might have been more detail than we needed. Seems like you two are the real deal, and Paimon sorry for suspecting you.
Well, you don't necessarily need to jump to conclusions.
For beings as forgiving as yourself.
Innocent until proven guilty and all that.
Water under the bridge, right?
Yeah, genuinely. Like, it's just the highlight in the hair and the clothes. Other than that, it is
Indeed have an agile mind.
the normal design.
Cloud Retainer was not mistaken in her high estimation of you.
That's
I'm
flattering.
curious about something. It's just... Paimon can understand why Mountain Shaper is here, but why did you decide to come to the city, Mooncarver? It's not really your thing, is it?
It is but an inevitable eventuality.
Oh,
Long have the mountains remained strangely idle since Cloud
Oh,
Retainer's
they're
moved
lonely.
to Liyue Harbor. With
I feel like all three of them are just like, yeah, we want to meet and talk with each other. but we don't.
The festivities in advance. Yet to this day, she has failed to appear.
To be fair, Cloud Retainer is
Cloud
taking care of a
Retainer is
child.
Hardly the forgetful sort.
One must never rest idle in the face of that which demands action. And since our acquaintances dwell in Liyue Harbor, we had to travel here in human form to avail ourselves of their aid. Cloud Retainers in this case.
But a moment ago, one heard you speak of a mechanical kite of sorts.
Okay.
It appears the essence of the situation has hitherto revealed itself. Now it is time for one to retire back to one's abode.
So, you're not looking for Cloud Retainer anymore?
Doesn't
Perhaps
she
there
live
are
in like the
aspects
middle of the
Cloud
city?
Retainer's temperament that remain opaque to young Paimon. Given one's understanding, one can only imagine the anger
Wait, why
that
is she
now
mad?
consumes her.
Cloud Retainer is of a proud and arrogant disposition. She holds the belief that
Oh.
her skill in mechanics surpasses that of all others.
Huh.
One can be quite certain it is hardly with an open mind that she regards the arrival of this new technology.
One surmises that she has shut herself away, refused all company, and buried herself in the study of her own creations. To call on her would only invite her rebuke.
To be fair, it makes sense to put
However, if
Janyan
you
in
do
an
happen to
event
cross
quest too.
paths with her over the next few
Since if
days,
you haven't had the
do
chance to
pass
play her
along
character
one's
quest, you really
regards.
haven't met her.
Sure, leave it to us. Have a safe trip back.
They're usually pretty
Enjoy
good
the
about that
scenery,
as well.
and happy Lantern Rite.
I'm trying to think if there's any characters that haven't participated in
Thank
any
you for
event.
your kind words. We
Can't
shall
think of
now
one.
depart.
There's of course ones like Ito or Miko from Inazuma or Zhongli
For nothing, huh?
that appear more
All that
often,
trouble, and it turned out to be people we knew all along.
but
Well,
I think everyone's at
still
least been
pretty
present
Let's
in
head
one.
over and check out the kite stalls. Paimon wants to see what kinds of kites we
And these
can
main
find in
events
the
with voiced
competition. The bigger
lines
and prettier, the better.
are usually a lot more like heavy investments of resources, I'm sure. Like when they're designing this patch, I'm sure one of the biggest like time sinks and resource investments was the Lantern Rite event. Whereas in maybe earlier patches it's the like the Archon quest, right?
Welcome! Are the two of you looking to buy a kite? Would you like me to go over the different designs?
Ooh, a scissor tail swallow and a butterfly and
Oh.
Ah, this jade chamber design is our newest. It's been selling like crazy
That's
over the
pretty
past
cool.
2 days.
Does it also have a unique meaning?
People who can draw and do art are like
Of
so
course.
creative.
The jade chamber symbolizes wealth.
I've always
and
been a
abundance.
musician, but I
The
can't
kite
draw to
bearing
save my
its
life.
Design is said to bring riches
To be fair
and
though, my
future
friends are
to
always like,
those
oh,
who
you just
fly
have
it."
to practice every day. I'm
Oh,
kind of like, eh.
that's Paimon's
But that's also what I've told people who want to learn how to
I
sing and do
apologize for the
instruments and such.
interruption, But are all your wares in order, Miss Genuine?
It just takes
Yes,
practice.
Yes, they're just over there. The paper, bamboo, and dyes. All the necessary kite-making materials.
Wonderful. I'll pack them up and get a guard to deliver the goods to Yilong Wharf for you.
Elon Wharf?
What's weird too is I wonder if the entire event will be in the harbor, because a lot of the time when we left the harbor during Lantern Rite, it was like to deliver this stuff.
if the two of you are
I
interested
just stumbled
in
over my
going
words.
Yilong
To deliver
Wharf, then
stuff
can I trouble you
to
find Gaming
the
and deliver these
Adeptus.
goods together?
Like when the year Kuchin got her outfit, she delivered stuff to Cloud Retainer, and I think they even
Is
mentioned that.
Gaming the guard you just mentioned?
Oh,
Yes.
this is where
The
Gaming comes in.
communications office handles shipments and transports around Liyue. He works for the Secure Transport
You know-
Agency, one of our sub-organizations.
Not to be like insensitive or anything like that, but I do think it's really funny that names in some languages, I'm sure this happens with English too, sound like other words in other languages. Because I mean, like, even if it's pronounced gaming, I'm sure everyone's made the gaming joke. When you're playing in the abyss, are you gaming with gaming? But yeah, it's just something I've realized too as I've been learning Japanese for about 4 months online. Through not just Duolingo. Duolingo is a really good free resource, but actually some other sites that are helping me learn like kanji and basic syntax and stuff. I considered learning Korean because I'm Korean American, but I just figured I'd probably use Japanese more. To be honest, if it was for usefulness too, I probably should have started learning Spanish with where I live, but eh. Just
The
interesting
problem
to see
is,
those
many
kind
of
of
my colleagues have taken leave during
similarities,
Lantern
because
Rite
there's
to
only
spend
so
time
many
with their
sounds like a
families.
human can make,
So
right?
our available workforce has seen a dramatic decrease recently. If you were willing to help out, then I could get a head start on my next appointment.
You do seem really pressed for time.
I mean, I feel like that goes without saying. Who works for free?
Wonderful. You will, of course, be compensated for your
Unless it's like a
efforts.
charity, I guess, but
Now, at this
you know.
time of day, Gaming should be somewhere in the vicinity. Just follow the main road until you see the head of a Wusho dance costume. Should be on your right.
A
Be sure
Wusho
to come
dance
back if you'd like to
costume.
buy a kite. I'll even give you a discount.
Interesting.
Wait, I thought we had an agreement. Loser buys dim sum tomorrow? Look at you. Scowl like that for much longer and your
So I
face won't
wonder
stay
if
that
he's
way.
like a guard, is he part
Hey
of like
now,
a...
Don't be upset. How about this?
I don't know if mercenary is the
Next
right
to the
thing,
invitation, and I'll pay.
but I wonder if he's some kind of organization like
You're always
that.
the one picking up the tab. I'm not trying to be a sore loser. I just didn't expect you to come from behind to win like that.
That was nothing. All in a day's work, friend.
Perfect. Gaming is here. Sorry to interrupt, Gaming. We just spoke to a guy from the communications office who needs you to deliver some goods to Yilong Wharf.
Oh, it must have been Longzhou.
Okay.
Looks like I've got work. Gotta go.
Sure, go do your thing. Let's have a rematch when you get back. I won't let you win so easily next time.
Are they talking about a game or...
Alrighty, you can hand the goods over to me.
Hmm.
Must have been heavy hauling them all this way. Let me take them off your hands.
Is he gonna be another
Look at that,
freakishly
yeah,
strong
it's just
character?
Kite-making materials. Plus, we didn't have to walk very far.
I still wish we'd gotten to see Shenhe actually just
Kite-making
carry like a
materials.
huge chunk of the Jade Chamber.
I see.
I get why,
Glad it wasn't too much
but
trouble
why
on
we
my part.
didn't, but you know.
Still, I owe you one. Ah, and you must be the
If they were to
traveler.
do stuff like that,
It's
it'd
nice to meet you.
definitely
Thanks for your
take even longer between patches.
You know us?
So, you know.
There probably aren't many in Liyue who don't. I've heard quite a bit about you two. You're quite well known around these parts.
I actually
and
talked about
please
it last
excuse
stream with
Longzhou for forgot to
Christos.
thank you.
I think he
And
stopped
take my
by.
things in his place.
But Genshin, compared to
He's a good
Star Wars,
guy.
really
He's
just doesn't
been
have
super
great
busy lately.
competition. I think that's why
Running
it's still
around
so
from place to
relevant.
place.
Is
Don't
there
get too
are...
hard on him, yeah?
Like, I really love Starro. I think the actual, like, basis of it I enjoy more than the full open world exploration. I really love turn-based games, though. Always been big into Fire Emblem. But, there's more competition in just even, like, the gacha game genre for turn-based gacha. Whereas the only thing I can really think of that really directly competes with Genshin is Tower of Fantasy. And I did play that game for a few months, and I don't think it's a bad game. But I definitely don't think it's at the point where it makes sense to me that it didn't quite blow up to be the big Genshin killer some people thought it would be.
You here for Lantern Rite?
But I wonder, you know,
It's always so
because for a game to really kill Genshin, I think it'd have to not only be an open world exploration gacha game, but it'd also probably have to be free and portable
We'll go
to
together
mobile.
then.
Because that's a big part of what makes
I'll give
Genshin
us
so
directions,
accessible,
so just follow me.
is it being
Trust
on
me, I
console,
know my way
PC,
around. We
and
can
mobile.
exchange stories, tell jokes, or just chat along the way. Oh, and there are a couple of good places to eat along our route. We can stop and grab a bite when it's time.
He seems like a nice guy.
The ingredients are fresh, the portions are generous, and the prices won't break the bank. You can order anything.
Hey, we
and I
take
promise
that.
You won't be disappointed.
Even like TV dinners and stuff like this nowadays, like 4 times what they used to be. I remember, not to sound like a boomer, 'cause I'm only like 25. I'm 25. I don't know why I say only like 25. But I remember when ramen packets, like little Maruchan packets, were a quarter. And now they're like $1.25.
Did you really have to call Paimon out like that in front of our new friend?
Don't worry, I understand. I joke around like that with my friends too. It just shows how close you are. Do you need to pack anything up before we hit the road? I can wait.
Nope, our things are always packed and ready. We're pretty much travel experts at this point.
Oh, that's right. Then let's get going. If we run into any trouble, you can count on me to protect you. I am a guard after all.
It's kind of refreshing to meet someone that doesn't seem to know what's going on. Oh. Okay. That doesn't seem to either know or just immediately recognize that we're the traveler. Because I feel like if he knew who the traveler was, he probably wouldn't start telling us that he's going to protect us. So what are we doing? Okay, so this is probably where we got all the little mini events. Yeah, we can work on these. This isn't unlocked. So, usually, the story quest on these events is 3 parts. Oh, it looks like it's 4. When it says 1 day, that usually means, it'll say hours. So this will probably be Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday maybe? Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. I don't know if we'll stream the rest of the story then. Much as I enjoy this, when I stream story-based games, it's part of the reason why I don't do a lot of streaming like the Fire Emblem games or Xenoblade Chronicles 3 anymore, is I can't exactly play some of it offline. Like, I guess I could, but I'm not going to play like the 2nd and 3rd part and then maybe stream the 4th part next weekend. That feels like a bit of a waste. Although, you know, not streaming all the parts is a bit too... But we'll see. Because, yeah, if this is Wednesday, I'm not going to have time to do more than 1 stream. And I'll definitely be streaming the new Starro patch. Penacony, I was surprised that they didn't go with the same 8-patch formula. But to be fair with, again, people mention it, the kind of lack of exploration aspect that you get with Genshin and Starro, I think it makes sense to make the versions a little bit more concise. It just makes me wonder if eventually we'll get to the point with 2 patches less per version, if they keep up that pattern, where it'll look like Starro has been around for longer than Genshin. Even though Genshin's been around for like a few years now at this point. Because 2 patches a year, that's like 6 weeks times 2. That's like 3 months or so. You know? That's, you catch up after 4... I don't know. Just an interesting thought, because even like Honkai Impact 3rd is on what, like, I think it's like version 7 something. I'm not sure. I have that game downloaded and updated. I just haven't played it in a while. Really good game though. Like, honestly, Hoyoverse for a long time has had, even before HI3, has killed it with really good games. But, oh, we do have more of the story quest. I was confused. I was gonna say, I spent a lot of time talking, but it's only been like 30 minutes. But we'll at least play the, like, this part and then do the first little activity for each one. I know a lot of people feel like they're repetitive, but it's never really bothered me. Like, some of them aren't like, you know, they're just travel from place to place, killing things, do the timed events with some modifiers. But every game of this style does this. Like, and it makes it again, so I think they can continue to put out really cool new areas, really cool Archon quests at the start of each version. Like, even for such a massive company, you just have to assume there's only so many resources to go around, you know? So I really don't personally mind these activities being recurring. But this isn't voiced. It's first to wishes a joyous Lantern Rite. I'll just let it play auto. As much as I enjoy voicing things out, I'm not very good at it. I won't curse the stream with my voice acting. Also because I have one voice. I don't know what else to say, like, with singing it's a little bit different. You have like your chest voice, your head voice, your falsetto, all that stuff. And I'm more practiced in that. I'm not practiced in voice acting. You know? I was talking with my parents about that actually last night, and I was just I felt sad because I have multiple friends even today that are like, I'd love to learn to sing or play an instrument, but it takes so long. And I encourage them, you know? Like, it's just something that you can do a little bit every day. I'm still not very good at the guitar, but because it's one of the 2 instruments I own with my flute, which is my best instrument, I play like 15 minutes a day. It's scuffed. Like, I was really good at the flute actually, but I'm out of practice there too. But it's something that it takes time. Like, they've told me the same thing about art, but to be fair, I've been playing music since I was in like 4th grade. You know, but that's the cool thing about hobbies though, I think, is there's something that like you aren't necessarily usually paid to do, but it can give you a lot of joy and be something that you do over a long time. Anyway, sorry, I've been rambling a lot today's stream. I didn't sleep well, and I have class later, so I couldn't really go back to bed. 7 meals a week? Could you imagine being able to afford to eat out 7 meals a week? Can't even afford one. The right mitts. Is she talking about, like, I guess you could take some Tums. I get really bad heartburn when I eat the wrong thing. Yeah, well. You know, even if the Traveler canonically isn't rich, I have like 18 million Mora in my inventory. It was actually at like 25, but I started upgrading characters. Been trying to raise like not just Yanyan we got recently, but like Diona and some good shielders that aren't named Zhongli. So I can use different teams in Spiral Abyss. Because to be honest, I'm almost always, even though I can clear consistently, sometimes it's painful because I'm usually using Hu Tao Zhongli comp and Raiden Eula comp. And sometimes it gets a little sketchy. Like this cycle, actually, I need to go back and redo the second chamber because I didn't cycle it correctly. And it was a boss that would have been much easier to do with a different team comp. Paper theater, huh? I wonder if this is another one of those little mini theater mini games. I actually really enjoyed those. The fighting ones for me I do get, though, when people aren't as appreciative, because at some point they try to mix it up with different, like, modifiers. But you spend so much time doing domains and stuff in this game that doing a new domain with just a little bit that's different is not the crazy newest thing. The rhythm events in this game are actually surprisingly good, too. Okay, so press the relevant buttons or move the movement keys to consume movement points and guide Guoba and Yueki. Who's Yueki? Hold the button to move continuously. Okay, so it's just moving characters to a certain point. Each move at the starting point or boxes will be recorded. Use the recall function. Okay, so that makes it seem like maybe we can do quick save states? Like in an emulator? I wonder if it's one of those where it's hard because you have multiple characters and they all move together. Okay, that's the same instruction. So... Great. I'm a genius. This actually reminds me more of Helltaker than anything else. It was a fun game. I enjoyed Helltaker. When they leave the starting point... Oh, that's Yuegi. Oh, is that, Yao Yao's? Yao Yao's little summon? I didn't know that's what its name was, but that's what it looks like. Airs they pass through will be marked. Oh, okay. So it's gonna consume extra points if you go through an area that's already been taken. Okay. No recorded states. Okay. I am a bit confused here. Was I supposed to stay in the cart? Leave the starting point cart. The areas they return to will be inaccessible. Returning along the mark. Touch the key. I can't recall. How do I restart? Reset. Here we go. I don't think I can take the cart with me. Okay, I was curious if going into the reeds there would do anything. Oh, okay. I misunderstood what it meant. I thought it when it said it will consume moves. Oh, it's restore moves. I didn't read that properly. I speak English. I have good reading comprehension. That's cool, though. Okay, so it's free to retrace your steps. You have to kind of find that midpoint between them. So... it feels like they want you to move the box. Okay, well, I'm out of moves. Can I go back now, though? And because you can push the box into the key and it counts. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Looks like that's the available stages right now. I didn't get the battle pass. I don't know if I will. You know, I say I'm a Battle Pass Welkin player, but for a long time I didn't actually do both. I just did Welkin. But I don't think I have all the new Battle Pass weapons yet. And that's one thing too. I know I said I don't like making comparisons, put one down or the other. I just find it interesting. Is that in Star Rail, the Battle Pass light cones are a lot more accessible because they can also be obtained through the gacha. But as a result, the Battle Pass light cones I don't think are as good. Whereas in, you know, in Genshin, a lot of the Battle Pass weapons are really good. I use Serpent Spine on my Navia. Specifically, Deathmatch has always been a pretty good alternative for higher tier spears. Like, not all of them are like crazy good, right? But they're usually pretty solid, but they're not accessible in like the gacha, as far as I know. Just an interesting contrast there. I don't think either way is a bad way to do things. Making something more accessible is always nice, but making something just good while being a little bit harder to get is also nice. Anyway, what else have we got? I have so many quests to do still. Oh, did I just have the wrong thing tracked? Maybe I'm just dumb. I was gonna say, I thought I had that top quest tracked, and so that's what was taking me to the mini event. But now I'm just kind of confused. Because, yeah, he said we're going to Chen Yu Vale.
Ooh, the docks are just a bit further. One step at a time. Hang in there.
Should be waiting. I'm so bad about this. I mentioned it in the Jianyan quest when they have that little bit of dialogue in the overworld, just hitting map and exiting out of it. Oh, my game does not like me today.
Wait, get behind me.
Okay, I haven't seen his kit. Oh wait, no, I have. I did the test run. It seems interesting. I think he's supposed to work well with Jianyan. I wasn't able to get a copy of him when I pulled Jianyan because I already had High Pity. But I think you can get him for free through this Lantern Rite. That's not who I meant to switch to. Just try this. I want to see if I can build up Burst before the treasure hoarders go down. What do they have him built on, too? Black Cliff Slasher. I actually don't have the Black Cliff weapons because I always greedily spend my wishes on... Or, sorry, my... I can't even remember what the currency is called off the top of my head on more wishes. But I know the Black Cliff weapons are pretty solid. I know Bleach. Is he meant to be a support? Yep. Uses the plunging attack, which consumes HP. Can't be released below 10%. That's good. Imagine if you could die because you were using Gaming's ability, or like Hu Tao's. I think Hu Tao also will only lower you to 1 HP. Interesting. I wonder what's his charge attack? Is it spin? It's spin. I don't find myself using spin charge attack on Claymores very often, and I'm a Raiden Eula main, so I've never really been big on using that. I don't even think it's bad, I just never do. I like the animation though, it's pretty cool. Just the little fireball spin and then back. I just got burst and didn't use it. Oops. I think we did the test run on stream though, last Genshin stream.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for deliveries to get intercepted. That's why this job needs guards like us.
Yeah, no matter where you go in Tavad, it seems like any caravan or stuff like that gets attacked a lot by treasure hoarders or,
That's not a skill I learned on the job.
I don't know,
It's just a
V-Shaps
hobby.
or something.
Have you ever heard of wushu dancing?
I
Really?
can't recall ever hearing
Wushu
about it.
dancing is famous in Chunyu Vale. Performers might be invited to promote the opening of a business or to spread good fortune during a holiday season. But I must admit, it has nothing on the popularity of the Liyue Opera.
Hey, we were talking about Yunjin earlier.
I'm also well aware that people in Liyue Harbor aren't exactly jumping at the chance to watch wushu dancing. So, it's not something I do full-time.
Oh.
Huh? You have 2 jobs? How do you have the energy to do all that?
Funnily enough, I was talking with my parents
not
about this
that tiring.
morning too.
You just have to take a rest.
Like we have my doctor.
You must sleep a lot.
My family's known for like a long time. He's
Just
always been
yesterday,
big
I
into
stayed up
theater.
all
He's
night
even
playing
done like
cards.
big, high-profile, like musical theater things. But he became a
Let's go.
doctor and does it on the
Doctor just up
side.
ahead.
And sometimes that's what works best for people because it can be stressful making something in like the entertainment industry your source of living. And so it sometimes just works for people to do it on the side. It's why I enjoy streaming, but I don't know if I'd ever, even if I had the opportunity, which is like less than 1% of streamers, right, to make a living off of it. Because so far, I'm in school for cybersecurity. I'm really enjoying it. But I enjoy streaming just on the side for fun. It's a good time. Board a bamboo raft. I can't swim. Like at all. I'd get so nervous getting on a raft.
Ooh, Paimon's
That's pretty cool,
shoulders
though.
are so stiff. And her
It reminds me of,
stomach's so empty.
not just even like Asian culture. Isn't there like... Oh, I can't remember what they're
Sorry.
called.
Did I push the
But I
pace
know
a bit
my
too much?
parents went to, I think it was
I mean,
Italy or
you were the ones
France.
who said you were
And you could
travel
ride these
experts.
little boats through...
It was just too
Canals?
heavy.
I feel really uncultured right now.
So much. Where's
But
Paimon out?
I'm just so bad with names and stuff like that. I can visualize it in my head, but
Satisfied
I
and now
never
her
remember the
stomach's
names.
empty again.
Aw, would you like some winter melon cake? I have
Oh,
some on me that I bought from a store.
you're feeding Paimon?
Paimon will take all you got.
I bet Paimon's gonna like
You might want to
Gomming.
pace yourself there, or you'll be too full to eat a proper meal later.
Paimon never gets too full. Just like you apparently never get tired, no matter how far you walk or how many jobs you work.
Ah, I see. Then here you go, Paimon. And for you, traveler. Enjoy.
Is there a chest?
And here's some for you too, Uncle Bosu.
It's so
think I
funny
forgot
to
about
see
you.
things just firing off in
I'll
the
just set it to
background.
side here for you.
You know, I was talking about this. It's why I think Genshin ults have to be so concise. Because it doesn't pause the timer in Spiral Abyss, and things still run in the background of the ult animation.
The spot.
Like, I play a lot of Miko. It's so funny to see her Aegis zap things in the middle of someone's burst.
That close of a call.
But I wonder if they'd have to do like a complete overhaul in the system
I've
to
been
make
eating
it actually
watermelon cake
pause.
ever since I was a kid.
So that'd be nice.
You can buy them from all sorts
Then they
of
could do like
places,
really
whether
fancy
it's a
ult
small
animations.
vendor on the side of the road or a big restaurant in the city. But each place produces cakes with a slightly different flavor.
Yeah,
If you like
like a
these
bunch of
ones,
different
I can give you
bakeries
the
here.
address of the shop I bought them from. I'll just have to check when we get back.
Yeah, Liyue really is...
Oh,
It
all my
doesn't do it
jabbering must be
justice
making
with
it
the
difficult
map,
for you
but
to
Liyue
enjoy
is
this
supposed to
scenery
be
in
like the
peace.
most massive
Don't be afraid to tell me to zip up for a
area
moment.
in
Really, I won't be offended.
Teyvat, like landmass wise.
Kind of enjoying listening to your chitter chat.
I don't know if population wise that was ever mentioned. It's kind of like the state I live in the
Aw,
US.
good Paimon is a happy
It's like
hive,
massive.
huh?
Like it's not Texas or anything like that, but it's not
Good mood anytime.
a small state compared to like the eastern really small states, but the population density of some of those states like New York, right? Just interesting. But where I live, there's a lot of like farming communities too, which is like one family for a massive plot of land, you know?
Here.
Don't forget your things and watch your step as you get off the raft, or you're in for a swim.
Hmm.
Thanks for the ride, Uncle Bosu. You take care of yourself now. I'll see you some other time.
I
Okay,
really do
follow
like
me.
these characters though, they just
This
seem
way is
really
fastest.
likable. It's why Yo and
We'll
Mia
have
is
to
so
take the elevator
popular.
Up to the secure transport agency.
Just the kind characters that are just nice to everyone. Something that goes a long way in the world. It's being kind to people. And I say that as someone who used to get into a lot of fights. When I was younger, oh boy. Is there an elevator here? Hello? Oh, yeah. I will say though, I've been playing my Navia team so much more. For like 2+ years, my overall team was pretty much always Raiden Eula. But I really, really enjoyed Navia team. I almost wish now, in retrospect, I'd gotten Albedo. Because I never pulled him, because the only thing I really personally liked about Albedo was the voice actor. That was so funny. But, like, now that I'm using this team, I wish that I had more off-field Geo DPS, which, like, the big option that I don't have, I think, would be probably just be Albedo, right? Because, I mean, it's like Ito, right? He throws the cow, which is active DPS, and his ult, I believe, is also just transforming into a club. Now that I'm looking at it, there's really not that many off-field Geo DPS, which, to be fair, makes sense, I think, because Geo does not do well with reaction base a lot of the time, because it's Geo. But, hey, AntiTube, how's it going? But, just interesting stuff.
I do love Spina di Rosula's logo. It was designed by my mother. Have you...
Hey!
Where am I going?
Slow down.
Over here? Okay.
Oh, well... how should I put it?
Come on, spit it out!
Do you see that group of people over there?
It says
Those are my
group and it's
relatives.
all... Oh, okay.
Wow, you sure have a big family.
Once they start buying things,
No,
they
I
won't
know what
stop
that's
perusing
like.
till it gets dark.
I absolutely know what that's
Bad.
like. Oh, I'm sorry,
Family,
Auntie.
not your
I
own enemies.
definitely get that feeling.
Unless... Oh, did you do something
Like, I think
horrible
across,
to them?
like, the 2+ years or so I've been playing Genshin, I have, like, a 35% 50-50 win rate.
Just not
It hurts
that
my
good at
soul.
dealing with my family. It would be best if we could steer clear of them. I'll explain more when we have the chance, but right now we've got a job to do.
We're sneaking past his relatives? Is this gonna be an actual sneaking mission?
Let's go straight.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, like...
Slow and steady
In some of the
wins
games I
race.
play, like the big gacha style games I play are Genshin Star and Arknights. Some of the games are like incredibly nice to you, and then some of them just decide they hate you and they never change their mind, I swear. Like I've never had good luck in Genshin. Interesting.
Let's wait here for a second.
Calming's aunt. They didn't even give him a name. I do feel like they name almost every random NPC in this game. Or just... Oh, there she goes.
Let's go.
I love how we're trying to sneak by his relatives, and instead of just like, you know, sprinting real quick from place to place, we're just slowly walking. Oh, here we go. I was gonna say we're just slowly walking.
To the right and...
Oh,
Wow, you guys are good. I'm impressed.
That was nothing. It was a piece of cake. Oh, winter melon cake to be exact.
You really liked it, huh? Ooh,
I wonder
you know
if
what?
people have made
I'll buy
like,
you a whole
because a
bunch
lot of
and
people
pile 'em
do
so high you can
like
swim in 'em.
binging with Babish
As long as
does
you don't
cooking
let
based
me
on
down,
movies.
Paimon.
I wonder if... Bro, I got early into...
Hey,
nice!
Uncle Drugway. These are my friends, the traveler.
Hey, we
and
take
Paimon.
that.
They came to deliver some goods with me.
Yeah, I think they say,
So,
on
I guess I'll go
average,
ahead and take these over to
you
Uncle
get,
Drugway's outlet.
like
Yes.
statistically one
Thanks
early
for
every
your
like
hard work.
3 5-stars too, right?
I should thank you both for your trouble as well. Please take a seat and rest for a bit. I'll prepare some tea.
No need. We'll be off soon anyway.
Hey, we're already here, aren't we? No harm in taking a load off for a bit. Plus, I know
It's
the
those
secure
moments.
transport
I
agency
feel
has
like
some
maybe
pretty
it's just my
soul-like
gambling
keepsakes
addiction,
around here
but those
somewhere.
few moments where you get like an
Promise you,
early
one
5-star
sip
or a
and you'll be
double
hooked.
5-star,
Anyway, you
it's
just
so
sit
much
down and relax,
dopamine.
Mr. Gui. Who would I be if I just sat here and let you go through all this trouble? Leave this to me. I have to be up and about to drop these goods off anyway. What's a little extra time on my feet? Oh, you aren't too picky, right, Traveler? I know Paimon prefers things on the sweeter side, so I won't steep the tea too long. And I'll add some dim sum pastries on the side.
I know nothing about making tea. Does steeping it make it less like bitter over time?
How long have you two known Gaming?
About 10 minutes.
Oh, not long at all.
We're best friends.
He just tagged along on his trip to Yulong Wharf. He's just a super welcoming guy. We became friends. You know, just like that.
That's just how he is. He's the attentive sort. Really knows how to look after his own. A while ago, one of our guards had to take off work. Said his joints were hurting due to the rain. Gaming personally went all the way to
I feel
Blue
that.
Pharmacy to get some
I have an
medicine
old,
for him
like,
from
not
Dr.
injury, but
Bison,
shoulder
then
issue
traveled
from when I
through the
used to
night
play
deliver it
tennis.
back to him.
And when it gets cold,
Man has such a good head on
the
his
oldest I ever
shoulders. How
feel.
can anyone not
And
love
feel
him?
my aching
I mean,
joints.
there is his dad, but well, ask anyone else. And
Uncle Yongzan says he doesn't have the personnel to spare for this delivery right now. So what do
Are
you
they
think,
gonna hit us
Mr.
with
Gui?
another sad
Should I go ahead and
backstory?
deliver it instead?
Someone really cheerful.
it feels like we've troubled you enough already.
It's kite making
Starting
materials.
to save for
though.
Zhao.
Perfect for a kid.
Is there another
I'm
Zhao
sure the
rerun
sender
soon?
wants it delivered before Lantern Rite.
I can't remember, but I know Zhao's really popular.
By the way, here, have some tea.
I don't have him personally, but one of my friends was a Zhao main for a long time before he dropped the game.
Alright then, deliver it
Super
if you
cool.
want to.
Because so many
Are
animo
you free
characters
in
are
2
like
days?
swirl-based
How
and
about
kind
we
of
grab some dim
supporty.
sum from Shinya Kiosk? My treat, and don't even
fun
think about
playstyle.
trying to pay.
Whoa, that's way too generous of you.
Don't mention it. Just think
It
of
is
this
the
as a
next
thank
banner?
you
Okay.
for all your help. Besides,
I'm not the best at
link
keeping up with
between me and my
reruns.
family,
I usually keep an eye on like
that's a
who's coming up
long
next.
story.
Like,
It might take some time to tell.
you know, I won't give spoilers, I guess, on the leaks because I know some people don't like they avoid them. But I think it really helps for planning because I know some of the characters I've been waiting for are coming up in the next few patches.
All right, then I'm off. See you in 2 days. Oh, and Paimon, make sure not to eat too much before then. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Is he underestimating Paimon? She's just gonna have to show him how much she can really eat. Anyway, is Gaming's family situation really that complicated? Yes, such a
Be fair.
happy-go-lucky personality.
I feel like almost every family situation with anyone's somewhat complicated.
It's hard to imagine a guy like that being troubled by much.
How should I put it? Since he already plans to tell you himself, you don't need an old man like me to add my 2 cents. You seem to be around the same age, so you might have a lot in common.
Everyone says that, but aren't the twins actually
Perhaps
like
you could help him talk things
ridiculously
through.
old?
Consider it a favor to me.
I thought there was a voice line about them being like as old as the stars or something like that.
If you have the time, maybe you can.
'Cause they are
make a little
world
flag
hoppers.
for us to wave about. It can say, "We provide aid in space."
Yeah, actually, and the Abyss twins at least been into that for 500 years. Now I
Well,
think about it.
I can certainly arrange that. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Wait, seriously? Paimon was just joking. But
That's one thing I was surprised they
going
didn't
to
do
give
with
us
Star Rail,
something.
because I
She'd
think
much
it's
rather
part
have
of like the
Hunter Valley
relatability and success of like Lumine slash Ether,
Seems
is
like
the
Gaming
sibling kind
really
of,
has rubbed off on you.
even though we never see the Abyss twin kind of
Would you like
synergy
some
there.
tea? I think
I
there's
think
some
I
left.
saw though in the background of like one
Yes,
cutscene, maybe
but
you
you
saw
and
the
his
other
friends still
MC.
haven't gotten a chance to look around the wharf.
But I've heard some of their upcoming games have really good designs too.
We should see the
I haven't seen too much on Zenless Zone Zero,
Maybe they'll have
but
ones
I
you can't find in Liyue Harbor.
actually is Wuthering Waves from that company? I'm not sure. I'm not very good about keeping up with like
All right,
upcoming
then.
games. The only one I'm really
Please do let me
knowledgeable
know
about
if
and
you'd like
looking
more
forward to
tea.
is Hades
You're
2.
welcome to stay as long as you like.
Alright, where are we going? Walking around Yulong. Oh, there's another world quest. Are we? Where are we on the map? Oh, we're in the new area. Yeah, I still haven't even found all the waypoints. I just had to hurry and find this. Cool area, though. They gave us the little... They've been really good since about, I would say Sumeru, about giving us really good exploration tools. that just make life so much easier. It's real nice.
What are you doing here?
Oh, it's Cloud Retainer.
The way you speak, one might have presumed you were displeased.
It's kind of funny too, because just based on voice, we knew in the story quest exactly who this was. Like that it was Cloud Retainer, but just based on voice, they were super convinced it wasn't Mooncarver and Mountain Shaper.
Take note, Paimon. You could learn a thing or two about how to respect your elders.
Ugh, starting on the elder stuff already, huh? Shouldn't you be back
Hey,
in your cave
that's
with
one of the
Green
few
Lantern
benefits of getting
technically
old,
thingamabob
okay?
or something? What was
There aren't many.
there?
My back hurts.
And what's with that huge box next to you? Ah! Paimon gets it. You're here to do some shopping, aren't you?
And what of it? The Qixing's decision to integrate Fontanian technology into said kite-flying competition is of no consequence to oneself. Did you expect one to willfully compete against the whimsical trends of worldly sentiment, or perhaps even fall to petty sulking over such?
Kind of.
It's not
Maybe
that
just
we
a
think
little bit.
Those things exactly.
Not
That's
that
just
you
what
would say that out
Moonshade
loud.
or Mooncarver told us, or just something and ho. Paimon can't be bothered to remember what their aliases were called. Anyway, they went to Liyue Harbor to look for you. They even asked us to pass along their regards if we ran into you. Tianyin?
I mean, she'd even said how lonely she was in Mr. Friends in her character quest. Did she forget about him? Maybe I'm just got the wrong read on this.
It appears time has quite flown since one's arrival in Liyue Harbor.
I mean, when you've lived for hundreds or thousands of
Forgotten
years,
about those two
at
old
some point, like,
fossils.
a few months is like
One shall
drop
have
in
to
the
bring
ocean, you
back
know?
some divine herbs to atone for this slight. Nay, given that one has ventured all this way to Yilong Wharf, tea would be more advisable.
I think, I've mentioned a few times that the anime series that blew up recently, Frieren,
One is reminded that certain
actually does a really
purchases
good
have yet
job
to
of
be
depicting
made.
that.
Perhaps you two could
How
wait
you've
here
lived for, like,
whilst one
hundreds of
performs
years.
this task. It'll
You
be
know.
but a moment.
Shorter things would kind of blow by real quick. Kind of sad, actually.
Wait here? You really just gonna ditch us here to watch your stuff? Oh, that woman really just does whatever she wants.
I'll leave it to Paimon, she can do it.
You, Traveler? Oh, all this Paimon ditching is super not
I
appreciated.
just accidentally wishing got another...
Ugh, just
Hey, at least
come back soon,
your
okay?
standard banner pity then is...
Paimon doesn't
Oh
want
wait,
anyone
no,
to
it's
praise
standard
you
banner,
and
sorry.
stuff.
I'm tired.
Welcome.
I mean, if you want to be a Chi-Chi main, hey. I have C5 Gene because I always lose my 50-50 to Gene. Eventually.
Sounds promising.
I feel like I'm just telling you to build her.
Fossils and all will be well. 2 boxes will do.
Wonderful. By the way, we're actually running a special Lantern Rite promotion.
Nah, the
Buy
Chi-Chi
3
memes
boxes,
always
get
make me
10%
laugh.
off. 4
In a
boxes will
sad
get
way,
you
but for me,
20%
it really has always been Gene.
20%.
I think the most I have across the years, unlike anyone else, is... I think maybe I have C2 Kuching, but everyone else is like C0, C1.
Give some to Morax and Ping too. Then 4 shall suffice.
Hey, you've got some good luck recently,
Are you
even if it's
intending to
mostly
get this as a
cheaties.
gift? If so, perhaps I can interest you in
Hey, you
these
take those
exquisite
early
gift
pities when you
sets.
can get them.
Buy 10, get half off. Look at the magnificent design. And
Doesn't the
red ribbon
standard
gives
banner,
quite the festive flair, don't you think?
I can't remember.
Such a gift
I
would
thought
be
it was
sure to
something
impress
like,
any
after a
lucky
certain number of
friend or
characters or
family
weapons, you're gonna get the other on standard banner, right?
10
I could be
boxes.
completely misinformed, but
Rather excessive.
that might mean too your next standard banner could
One
be
factors in the conquer
a
of
weapon.
demons and one's
I'd have to look it up
desires.
though. That could have also just been one of those like old false
10, a
rumors
nice
as
round
well.
number, don't you think? Of course you do. I'll even shave a little extra off the price for you.
That is agreeable. One will, I will have these
The fact that
boxed
she's
up
even
then.
bargaining to a little bit is
Of
surprising
course,
because
of course,
Zhongli
right away.
quite literally never does.
I
We show up
see
and
you
we're
have
buying
quite
jade
the eye for
samples.
fine items,
Why don't you just
mademoiselle.
buy all 3?
Perhaps some of my wares might also be of interest to you. I'm a toy merchant from Fontaine. You'll get nothing but the finest and most intricate clockwork toys Mora can buy here. Each one sure to be a source of endless amusement.
Overall, though, I think they did a really good
Perhaps you
job
could
with her
enlighten
human
me
design.
then. When should said
Just like, even
amusement
just the
be
clothing makes you, like,
derived?
think of something that flies, you know?
That is, of course,
I
best
really do wonder,
understood by
though,
playing with them
how people are going to
yourself.
feel about the
If you could
NPC
wait just a
versions
moment,
of the
I
other
can
two
bring
that
one
we
out and
saw
give you a
this event
demonstration.
earlier. But I do feel like, since we've seen again that Jianyan has multiple forms, if Mountain Shaper and Moon Carver become playable, they'll probably just give them a more distinctive
There is
design.
no need for that.
And it makes sense, right?
Mademoiselle.
If they're transforming to humans, they probably want to blend in. And I think they're probably a little bit better about being discreet than Cloud Retainer would be.
Of course. Here you go. The instruction manual is...
I can do without. Thank you. Many watchful eyes surround this place. If
That's
one
what they
were
were
to
saying
decide to
too. They
purchase
know
a
their friend.
mechanical toy such as this,
Very prideful
child's
about the
plaything, no
mechanics.
less, it would only invite scandal.
Nothing wrong with having
There
pride
is
in,
no
like,
harm
something that
bringing
you've worked
it back
hard
to
towards.
study in secret.
But it's still important to be open to growth, too. The hiding spots in this game always make me laugh, too, because they're like, they'll never see me. I'm only standing 5 feet around a very poorly covered box. And then the funniest thing is they
One
don't.
may not delight in social interactions, but that does not mean one lacks said faculties.
To be fair, though, I was never good at stealth games, like Dishonored. My first Dishonored playthrough was absolutely
And
not a
you
stealth
two,
one.
Are you not here to purchase things?
It was me running through like a wrecking ball.
It doesn't look like there are any kite stalls around Elong Wharf. But it does look like there are lots of goods from Fontaine.
You are also planning to participate in the kite flying competition, then?
Also, she gave herself up.
One means to say, you along with all the other youths. One has been entreated to share one's kite-making expertise, and indeed, there was little one could do about such persistent supplication. One moment energetic and earnest, and dejected the next. One had no choice but to acquiesce to these requests, and thus, one will be organizing a kite-making workshop to provide personal instruction in this art form.
Oh,
Okay.
who will be participating then?
Chuyu, Shenhe, Ganyu, and Yayo.
Okay,
Wow,
so just
that's
the
quite a few
Adeptus
people.
disciples.
Also, this is all pretty well.
I wonder how
suited,
relevant
but
they're gonna
it's
keep
not like you
Shuyu,
have to make your own
since she's
kite
kind of her
to
student
participate in
now.
the competition. You can just buy
I
one
know
ready
based
made
on
and
voice
call it
lines,
a
because
day.
those are leaked ahead of time, a lot of people were kind
You
of
speak
speculating
those
who
equipped
Shuyu
with
would
the
be.
mechanical lifting device, do you not? Tis nothing.
It's one of those weird
but
things too, where if you
brutes
pulled the
of
character
moral
before you did the
machinery.
character quest,
The
you'd probably
mechanism
have that
one
voice
has
line,
developed
and you
was the
wouldn't know.
fruit of millennia of
Because I know that's
meticulous
happened
study.
before.
Let us
I think
not
they try to
speak
gate some
source
voice
of the
lines
mechanism's
on like
power,
friendship or quest
but
completion,
rather
but
its structure. It is composed
was it
of
Farina? I think people said
materials
looking
as
back,
light as bamboo
Farina's might have
and as strong as iron.
spoiled a little bit.
This composition grants it the lightness
Because
of
when you were
weight
able to pull
ascend
Farina, like,
into the
on the day of
sky
that patch,
and
we
the
still thought she was the
ability to follow
Archon.
the wind for many a mile. It is built with a series of intersecting rods that... Never mind. It is unlikely the two of you will understand, even should one expend the effort to explain. One is better off saving one's breath.
It sure seems like you want to talk about it, though.
Jeez.
So, will you be attending the workshop or not?
Huh? Wait, you've been trying to invite us this entire time?
She's giving us the look that says this is less of an invitation and more of a statement. She'd probably
All
not
right,
say
then.
no.
No need to prepare the materials in any case. One has it all sorted. Arrive at Mount Outsong in 2 days. I shall be expecting you around midday.
Are you leaving? Don't you want a guard to help you with that big box of yours?
Why would Cloud Retainer of all people need a guard?
Surely you jest. One
Yeah.
goes as one pleases.
If there's
For
anyone
what
in
reason
Liwa
would
I
one
wouldn't be
need
worried
to
about,
rely
it'd be
on
one of the
another?
Adeptus. Or Adepti. I still remember us first meeting Shenhe in the Rebuilding the Jade Chamber character quest, and she's about to beat someone's skull in. Like,
One calls it
Jeez.
the
Oh.
floating toting device.
hey, things that we could have in real, well, probably couldn't have, but would be so nice.
Proud of that one.
I still remember going to... I take online classes through college nowadays, but going through high school with a backpack full of like 20 textbooks. Oh.
Wonders... never mind. But anyway, that box of hers seems to be full of those mechanical lifty thingamabobs.
Yeah.
Not that Paimon was peeking or anything. She just...
I mean, I was about to say it's how do you carry all those things? But we literally have a teapot that's a pocket dimension, so... Maybe it's not that crazy.
All the stuff inside almost came bursting out. Paimon even went out of her way to keep it all together. All Paimon say is that Shenyun sure does try hard to save face. What did she call it again? A crude piece of mortal machinery? Paimon bet she just can't wait to take it apart and see how it's made.
Yeah.
Totally. We should probably act like we didn't see anything, though.
Maybe just a bit tsundere about her hobbies. Not just the pride. Because I think she has a voice line about, like... I was gonna have a cooking competition with Jongling because she said the machine can't compare to cooking by hand. But then realizing, actually, maybe I'd have to work on it a little bit more. Pretty funny stuff. Anyway, I think that is the first part of this quest. I really don't know if I'm going to stream the other parts. Specifically just because these I could probably stream this weekend. But I'm pretty sure if it's... Because it says 24 hours if it's one day. This comes out Wednesday. And I am probably going to be streaming the Penacony patch for Star Rail. I've been looking forward to it for a while. Let's see. I have so many quests to do. It's hard to know with these world quests too how long some of them will be. Because I just think back about the R&R quest. And every time I was doing something thinking, surely it can't be longer. That quest line, even skipping dialogue, took like 10 hours. It was a cool one though. I thought it was so cool to see, like, for the first time, someone actively receiving her vision. I can't remember her name, but I know she was a forest ranger. She received a dendro vision. It was just super cool because there's been so much, like, mystery around the visions. How for a long time we thought specifically the Archons gave them, but I think it was A that had a voice line about that not being the case. I think I saw a theory that because of that voice line, maybe it's less that they can't and more that they have, like, a veto option. I don't know. I'm sure that's something they'll explain over time. Maybe once we get to either Snezhnaya, which would probably be the last... Well, no, it's confirmed to be the last of the 7 nations. Or once we get more information on, like, Celestia. Because I've always been so curious about that. Happy Lantern Rite. What do you mean you wouldn't happen to be the big shots who came looking for Gaming? We are talking to you. Well, no, he was talking to you, and we came up and talked to him right next to him. What? Hot biggity. Buy groceries and so. Huh. I mean, they're the world-renowned traveler. At this point, like, it's just kind of an expectation that when we go to Natlan and Snezhnaya, will be known. Snezhnaya especially because we've been, you know, murdering Fatui members for like 3 years. There is that. I actually have no idea, though, canonically how much time has passed since the start of Genshin Impact. Because I can't imagine it's more than like a few years. Because at some point you'd start to see the age on like the human characters. But at the same time, we know it takes like a lengthy amount of time to say take Beto's ship to Inazuma. I wonder, I'm sure somebody more versed in lore would know. What else is she good at? I mean, you're good at flying. Because you have to. Yeah. That's what he said. I don't know if it would be super easy to carry stuff if you float. Because I'd have to imagine wings would be like a muscle, right? Like if you're not trained to carry extra stuff. Wouldn't go too well. We did see in Jianyun's character quest, though, the whole, the crane potentially turning into an... That was something I did not expect. I thought the Adeptus had to be, like, born as an Adeptus, but if they're, like... They almost sounded like enlightenment or, like, an ascension of some kind. I wonder if we'll ever see someone become an Adeptus like that. Now that we know, like, Shuyu's grandmother is technically an ordinary crane. Which was sad. Honestly. That character quest hit me pretty hard. I think still the hardest thing that ever hit me in any of these quests, though, was when A said goodbye to Makoto in the, I think it was the second quest for her when we got the Shogun weekly boss. Miko saying goodbye to the yokai was also really sad, but the voice actor, I don't know how it sounds in other languages, but the voice actor, I think, actually does A, the Shogun, and Makoto in English. They did such a good job. I rewatched that scene the other day on YouTube, and it still made me really sad. Anyway, this guy's just kind of talking about the game. I wonder how many little mini events we'll have. Usually these events have, like, what? Somewhere between 3 and 5, I want to say. This is going to be a rhythm one. Pigeon adapted? Oh, she didn't even correct them, did she? I have to wonder with, like, translation. Because I think, did I say it earlier? Like, I've been learning Japanese for about 4 months online, and seeing some of those, like, sayings being translated over, it just makes you wonder what they used. Is that jongling? Huh. Complete stage objectives, score the highest number of points, skill to don a special wushu dance costume. I'm assuming that's that. And knock aside other participants. Oh, is this a PvP one? I've never done good at the PvP things in this game. Like, if I win, it's just by happenstance. Yeah, it is PvP. Okay. You can invite multiple teammates to play together or match with other players. 4 participants. You know, one thing about Genshin that really, I think, shows that their player base is still really active, despite some, like, the criticism, is that when you queue up for these modes... Where am I going? I'll just figure it out as I go. They're usually pretty good about not making it matter if you win. Oh, is it just this guy? When you queue up for these things, like Wind Trace is another good example, it's usually instant. Race to the top, that. Complete good things to come rolling in. Oh, it's just completion. Yeah, usually the way they do these events, though, is it's just you get a certain number of, like, point limit a day. And that way, if you didn't do well, right, you just have to do another game. Not a big deal. There was one, I think, an event or two ago that was, like, kicking around things in, like, a little... It was, like, a circle with 4 goals. I think I won that one once out of, like, the 10 times I played it. So I wouldn't expect anything too impressive from me. 128 to 24. Alright, you need to collect as many lucky T-bricks. Small and large forms. Larger ones will be worth more, okay. Oh, okay, so it's one of the ones where, like, there was that co-op one where you could collect coins. It almost seems to me like this, except you can bump other players behind. That was instant. And you're trying to get... like, compete with them. I usually don't play multiplayer in this game. I always really enjoyed Wind Trace, though. That game was a little rough if people were lagging, but it was still fun. Basically just prop hunt. Who do we play as? Who plays Miko? My favorite character. I mean, Yai Sakura was my favorite character in HI3. I wonder if we'll get a Miko XP in Star Rail. That's a really common theme with the Hoyoverse games. Oh yeah, there's an emote. I guess I'm covering it up with my model, but I always forget there's a chat. That's why I put my model here, as I don't play multiplayer, so there's never anything in the chat. The weird thing with these modes, though, is if you're first player, you have to exit multiplayer mode. Where am I going? Oh. So if you're both in that form, you knock each other away. Oh, there's the big ones. Oh, I think someone's AFK. Oh, nope, there he is. Poor dude. I had that issue, actually, on my old PC. Whereas if I played something like Wind Trace, my... Does this make me faster? Maybe a little bit. If I played something like Wind Trace, I had to do the multiplayer events on mobile because my old PC had a really hard time loading it. Dang, this is like a minute-long event? I don't think I've hit... Oh, I have hit people without... I think if you're both in the form, you knock each other away, it looks like. And if it's just one person, that's when you kind of smack them around. Was that a gunshot? Oh, it was probably a firework. I was about to say, what? Huh. Is no one else doing the, I was gonna say, I see other people doing that, but they're not hitting each other. This feels mean. Oh, I knocked so much out. Oh, I got hit. This is another one of the games, though. I always mention it. I think it's why they give you so much excess of time in a lot of the time events. Because, you have to do these things on mobile. Like on PC, like target practice modes and stuff like that are not hard to do. Oh, it got me.
Dear me.
But like on PC, target practice, things like that aren't super difficult. But doing it on mobile when I do my dailies on mobile is rough. But... Oh, there is a score, I guess. But it said it was just a completion. But those mods are, like, fun. Just kind of like a little novel thing that they put in. The one thing I really do wish Genshin would bring back, and I don't know if they ever will, because I was always under the impression they maybe used it as, like, a basis for the simulated universe in Star Rail. Because we know so many, not just, like, quality of life things in that game was kind of from things they probably picked up over time with Genshin. But they had, like, a roguelike style mode, right, for Genshin at one point, where you got buffs and it was, like, 3 floors. I really enjoyed that, and they never brought it back. Store these. Oh, you can random play or pick the 3. Stay on the platform for as long... Oh. Okay. So it looks like the bumper... The bumper's the common mechanic. But then... There's, like, other... Okay. Other, like, little factors to do. So the more Valerie possess, the higher score... Use the following methods. Gaining and holding on to T-bricks. Staying on the platform. Oh, interesting. So last one, it was just about trying to get the most coins. This one, there's like Valor points for holding on to the T-bricks and staying on the platform. A fortune will hold it for a time. Oh, okay. It's like the, like standard Mario Party, maybe Pummel Party game. Where it's like hold the crown or something. Continuously gain Valor. Okay, I think I get it. A lot of these modes, too, to be fair, like, they explain it, and my brain just doesn't understand it. And then I view it, you play it for like 10 seconds, and it clicks. There we go. Yeah, I'll probably just play as Miko. Yeah, so stay on the platforms, get the big boy thing, and knock other people away. Interesting. I felt kind of bad because in the other lobby until the very end, no one was knocking other people away. But I'm sure as like the game becomes more common, people will do it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, I want that. I'm sorry. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, hazard zone? Oh, you just lose points for staying in the hazard zone. Okay. Oh, and it just points for standing it. I thought these platforms were actually going to, like, physically lift. Don't do it. I'm sorry. They didn't even... I feel bad now. They didn't even do it. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't get it off. Grab this. I can't tell if the Valor thing's worth more points or if the platform seems to be worth a lot. Oh yeah, everyone's just hitting each other now. Oh, don't do it. Fortune T-bricks are about to appear. I'm sorry. Oh, that sent me flying. Listen, I'm sorry. Oh, this is actually kind of fun. One of those things that, like, little mini games like this don't have to be super complicated to be enjoyable. Oh, what? On my screen, she disappeared out of the form. That's interesting. Oh, the Wuxia buffer points are interesting. So later on, they make them worth more. Oh. Yeah, there's a little bit of latency, but that's to be expected with any online game. Wait, what happened to the free? Oh. Wow, she teleported there. Huh. Yeah, that's fun. I enjoy that. Let's do the last one, too. We'll give it a try. Maybe return to the... Oh, there we go. Alrighty. Hello, Jacqueline? Can't remember if they say this person's name out loud. If I don't hear the name out loud, I'm not going to figure out how to say it. Stay in the safe zone. Avoid super spicy wok hay to maintain your mildness. Yeah. I mean, we're just going to do one more. It's the mildness. It's the green heart. Enter them to avoid the space. Okay, so it's basically collect the clocks this time. Stay in the yellow circle. Oh, it's like a danger zone, like floor's lava or something like that. That's what that reminds me of. Huh. I really like all the art they do, even just like this little background photo. Someone worked hard on that, and it looks good. Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird because on one hand, like, I always talk about music versus art for me. I appreciate music because I at least understand how, like, the work that goes into it. But I also appreciate art because I don't understand what goes into it. Ow. Safe zones are about to disappear. Where was the safe zone to begin with? Oh. Listen, up. Yeah, I was expecting that. New T-bricks are about to appear. So you have to kind of find that balance, though. I'm getting tossed this round. Super spicy walk inbound. So I'm assuming we just have to be in... Oh, dang. That looked like it did a ton of damage. So I can't tell, are you just, like, neutral when you're in the zone? Thought I could clip that one. Huh. They knocked each other out. I didn't have to do anything. Maybe I should have saved my transform. I was going to say these zones about this shrink. Yeah, it seems like the that big hit does a lot of damage. I'm sorry, Kazuha. It's the voice lines when you hit him that make me even sadder. I'm sorry. Up.
Time to go.
Oh, it's so hard to tell where people's hitboxes are like that.
Is that all?
Oh, I thought I had time. I was gonna try and juke him by transforming last second. Like right as they popped out of it, so we didn't knock each other back. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if you can't get like high value out of the T-bricks, you shouldn't go for them. You should just stay in the zone. Yeah, like here, I should just stay in the... Huh. That's interesting. I don't know which one of those I like the most. I thought that the slightly risen platforms was cool. I thought it was going to be like literally a floating platform as you got on top of it, but it was literally just like a small steppy. But I thought that one was cool. The first one felt a little generic, but I think you had to play that one first to kind of teach you how to do the other ones. And that one was also really cool, because it's kind of that risk-reward between trying to get more T-bricks or kind of just, you know, sitting in the safe zone and staying neutral. Like, little mini-games like that I think are pretty innovative compared to some of the more basic ones they do, but that's what gives it variety. Were there other... Oh, right, okay. So it looks like there's 3 sub-events in this event, in the story quests. Well, to be honest, guys, I could play a little bit more of the, of that mode. I actually thought it was kind of fun. But I think I'm probably gonna go ahead and... Oh, that's what this is. Yeah, I'm just gonna get a Gaming here. I'm probably gonna go ahead and call the stream there. I was talking about it when I started the stream, but I think we'll just have to play it by ear on whether or not to stream these other parts. Especially just because the second part of 4, and they're kind of consecutive, is on the day the Star Rail patch comes out. I mean, maybe I could just do a long stream, right, where I switch between the two. But I have an idea, once I start up the Star Rail stream, I'll be playing it for most of the afternoon Wednesday. So we'll see. I might just maybe pop back in Friday and Saturday and do this, play a little bit more of the minigame event. But I've been wanting to stream more Genshin, because outside of like the first day or so, a new patch comes out, a lot of the time, the only other big thing to stream on Genshin in a patch is the main event. Unless you like doing Spiral Abyss or stuff like that. But I had a good time today. Thanks for everyone who stopped by, watched the stream, you know, talked or watched the VOD. I enjoy just streaming for fun, because it's just a good time. But I'll catch you guys probably Wednesday.